Perfect. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the third and final week of Clicks and Bricks. Tonight, we're going to be talking about promoting your business online. If you got my email earlier today, I mentioned we have a new presenter joining us, Molly. And you're with the North Central SBDC, or are you also with the Northland SBDC? Both.
I'm an independent marketing contractor, so I do work for the Entrepreneur Fund and my own clients, and two of the SBDCs. So all over.
So every and all entrepreneur resources, in Northern Minnesota. We're so excited to have you joining us tonight.
Thank you.
A couple of housekeeping items before I let you, introduce yourself further and dive in. Like I was just saying, if any of you have questions, please feel free to just unmute yourself or put them in the chat, whatever you're more comfortable with. Try to stay muted until you're talking. Just because of the feedback and things like that, might get some weird audio stuff if you don't. Also, you'll notice, press record. We are recording tonight and we'll be emailing it out for your reference, so look for that. And that's about it. Molly, I'll let you take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Katie. I'm excited to be here. You may have heard me talking. I am originally from Central Minnesota, St. Cloud State graduate, and then now live in Duluth. And I was working for Duluth Pack for 11 years as director of sales and marketing. So that is a 140-year-old company in charge of their website and all of their social media, blogging, trade shows, branding. And then when social media started, when Facebook was it was just MySpace back then. And then Facebook was just for colleges, and then they opened it up. So there wasn't really any resources around other than going to the Twin Cities. So I did start the Social Media Breakfast Twin Ports on Facebook group. We meet monthly, and it's free if you want to join. A lot of people ask questions that have any marketing questions. It's up to 1,000 members, and we're just starting our 12th year. So that's just an easy way to keep abreast of all of the new platforms that are coming out. But this series, we're just going to really follow up on the other two and really talk about promoting your business online. We talked about the website and e-commerce piece of it and the different platforms that are out there for restaurants and retail. And now we're going to talk about the social media piece, which everybody seems to have a love-hate relationship with it. Like, I love being on social media, but then I don't know what to post and when to post and times and all of that stuff. So feel free to ask any questions that you have or put them in the chat. And Katie will help monitor that. And here we go. Let's start to talk about, when we talk about social media, we talk about content. We'll talk about platforms too, but we really need to talk about what content we're producing so it gets in front of the right people and then leads to a conversion. A lot of times my clients say, "You're the social media expert. Tell me about social media." And I say, "Great, let me look at your website." And they're like, "Well, no, I need help with social media." Social media is just one piece in your toolkit, and it's a conversion tool. You want people, unless you have like a Facebook store, which is great, but you want to convert people. So I'm service-based, so I help. I don't have products that I sell, I have services. So I want to drive all of my traffic to my website, which explains who I am, the services I provide, and how to get a hold of me for those services. That's what the website is there for. So all of the content we produce on social media, I mean, we were just talking about snow coming, or March Madness. So all of that is relevant, and that's fine content, but it has to be with a mix of content that's going to convert. So we really need to think about who we're talking to. So what platforms are we talking about? So this is globally the most popular social media channels. And so people are surprised to see YouTube as the number 2 social media channel. And another little interesting tidbit is YouTube is actually classified as the 2nd largest search engine after Google. And Google owns 96% of the global search engine share. So Google is a big deal. And Google owns YouTube. So if you're going to do any advertising through Google there and you do a video ad through Google, it's shown on their platform, YouTube. So YouTube is a great resource. So even if you create a little video online socially, think about putting it on YouTube channel, just so that you can therefore have a billboard on the second largest search engine on the internet. So then WhatsApp and WeChat, those are more international programs. I actually have WeChat when my sister-in-law lived in China. So that was a way to communicate. So those two that's what those two are for. And then there is Messenger. Facebook in all of its power and glory has separated out Messenger and decided now that's going to be two separate, even though they're integrated together, but you have to have a separate app for it. And then Instagram, TikTok, and thanks to the pandemic, TikTok shot way up to the top of the list, because that was an easy way when we're stuck at home to scroll through and learn all of the dances on TikTok, which I tried to do during the pandemic. And I don't think that I've nailed it quite yet, but I'm working on it. And then LinkedIn is an incredible resource for business to business. So if you want to reach out to me, a great place to reach out to me is through LinkedIn, and not wanting to connect with me on Facebook. You don't need to know what I'm doing on the weekends. LinkedIn is the place to find me. Snapchat. I have used Snapchat marketing wise if I have a big event going on, like coming up to Two Harbors in August is going to be the Tall Ships Festival with the world's largest rubber duck. I do marketing for that. I will have a geo fencing so that when people are at that event on Snapchat, it will have a filter with a big duck on it. So that's how I've used Snapchat. Twitter is great if you have, it seems to be a really great platform if you're news, if you're like a newspaper or have news to share, or a restaurant that has daily features that you can talk about, celebrities, that's a great place for Twitter. Reddit, I also love Reddit with great content. And then I'm pretty partial to Pinterest. That's where I find all my recipes and my outfits and all those interesting things. So this is kind of some idea on the platforms that are out there. And again, it just depends on talking to some of your customers, figuring out who are your top customers and what social media platforms they're on. If you know all your customers are on Facebook, that's the place to be. If you know all of your customers are Instagram, you can tie the two, Facebook and Instagram, together, and you can converse on both of those. If you have a younger demographic, then maybe you need to think about, I know a lot of businesses now locally are popping up on TikTok, so that's really pretty interesting to see. So, and then obviously think about the Instagram. I'm sorry, I meant LinkedIn. Think about LinkedIn. Even just setting yourself up as a personal profile and a business profile on LinkedIn. So those are the platforms and the old buyer persona, which some of my clients would get excited about. And then I realized that they had a really hard time because they wanted everybody to be, I want everybody to be my customer. And I'm like, okay, that's great, but you can't talk to everybody. So now I tell people, rather than build this fake persona where we come up with all of these questions about what's their name and where do they live and what's this, let's not create somebody fake. Let's just take your most popular customers that you have right now. If you have products or if you have service and they're like, they refer my business to all their friends and family, they have great things to say, they pay their bill on time, they keep coming back to buy more things, they bring their friends in, they refer me, whatever that is, rather than try to get all of these, build a fake buyer persona, let's take somebody real. And if that real person is Jennifer, like if I just had 10 more Jennifers walk into my shop, walk into my store, follow me online, I would be good to go. So let's figure out in our brains, who is that top customer that you have? And let's just get more of those, because it's easier to speak to that Jennifer because you know that Jennifer is a great customer. And if you could get 10 more, you'll be good to go. So I just want you to concentrate on the two boxes, the orange and purple box on the right-hand side, and think about what challenges does Jennifer have? What are her goals? How can you help? Because that's what marketing is. That marketing is solving a problem. Obviously, if you are service-based, you understand that. Plumber, something's broke, that's a problem. You need the plumber to fix it. Your marketing is broken, you have a marketing professional come in and help you. If it's product-based, it's like, well, how can I be solving a problem if I sell black cocktail dresses? Well, you're solving a problem because we are now going to weddings and in-person events that we haven't been going to, and maybe our size have changed. Maybe we ate a lot of things in the kitchen. Nobody's judging, but we need a new dress. So that is a problem. So that's who we need to talk to. So figure out your Jennifers or your Bobs and figure out what problems they have, because that's your content. You're going to be creating content, talking to those people and getting more of those people. It's going to resonate with those. And then we're going to talk about where they are. How do they get their information? How do they communicate? What media do they consume? Do they belong to any associations? Do they attend any events or conferences? How do they spend their days? Hobbies? Why all of this is relevant is because we need to reach Jennifer and all the other Jennifers like her where they are. Where are they? And when I say, do we belong to any associations? How this is helpful is when I was at Duluth Pack, we have a lot of shotgun rifle ammo bags, and I knew that it was pheasant season in the fall. And so I said, okay, where can I reach these people? I know that they're good customers. So I contacted the local Pheasants Forever or the Rough Grouse societies and asked if I could donate catalogs and a bag for their annual dinner. So I donated a bag, a catalog on all those chairs. I reached them at the associations where they were. I found more of those ideal customers, and we sold a ton of gear that year because I reached them where they were. So really think about that. And then what social media do they use? Again, you might just have to ask, how did you hear about us? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Instagram? Have some chatter with them as they come in or as you interact with them to figure out where's the best platform to be. And then if they have relevant hobbies, let's create valuable content. So you're not just talking about, hey, I provide service A. Yeah, I know. That's all you talk about. Well, maybe we can talk about relevant hobbies that are relevant to that. Maybe Jennifers are all, outdoorsy and like to take walks. So maybe I can talk about, it's a beautiful day for a walk. And while you're out and about, stop in. We're going to be having, free cookies or coffee today or whatever that might be. So if you talk to them on their level and the things that they're interested in, you're going to get more customers. So really just think about these to fill out some of these two things. And so you have a really good idea of who you're talking to and what they want to hear about, besides just the products and services that you provide. And then when we asked corporations what they spend most of their marketing dollars on, I thought it was going to be TV commercials and newspaper ads or Google ads. But what it really is content marketing. It's the process of creating and sharing valuable free content to attract prospects, the other Jennifers out there, and convert them into customers. So that's what content marketing is all about. You're creating valuable information around what your potential customers are interested in. What does that mean? That means Airbnb shows pictures of rent this house, rent this condo, rent this cabin, pictures of all of those. We understand that. We're saturated with that. We understand what Airbnb is. Airbnb is trying to reach a new customer. What do all their customers have in common? They need a place to stay because they're traveling. So they created these local lists. So they took a lot of the areas in the United States that have a high population of properties for rent, and they created this local list. So now I book a hotel in San Francisco. Now I look up things to do. I find this list. Oh, this is a really helpful list. Now Airbnb follows me around the internet. They have my IP address. And now I see that I can rent a condo for the same price as my hotel room and have a whole space to myself and be close to all these fun activities. So I cancel my hotel room. Now I'm now I download the Airbnb app. So now I just use Airbnb wherever I go. So they created content relevant to their customer. So again, Airbnb is not just showing where you can rent, but they're showing content relevant. And so that's what I want you to be thinking about, is creating content outside of the products and services that you provide, but yet is still relevant to your customers. That's how you're going to get more customers through the door. And that's what we want. Content marketing, it gives valuable information. Traditional marketing, if you're watching a TV program and you're interrupted with a TV commercial, it's more interruptive. So more and more people are going to, more and more businesses are using, and because it's more cost effective. I'm not saying there isn't a time and place for the TV commercials, but content marketing is providing more valuable content. And it's just a super bright graphic to wake us up on a Monday night. Pretty colors. So now we're going to be talking about your brand and your brand voice. So often it is just you that working in your business that's doing the social media marketing. Maybe sometime you'll have somebody help you. When I was at Duluth Pack, originally it was only me. And by the time I left, I had a team of 5. And so all 5 of us should have been able to post on social media, and you can't tell the difference of who it is because we all have that same brand voice. So maybe think about what your brand is and what your brand means. And maybe someday we'll all be able to meet in person. And I have this sheet which has all of these adjectives on it. And it's like 100 different ones. And I have everybody look through it and circle it and find what's relevant to them. It was a really fun exercise that I did when I went to a presentation. And I really found a word, thoughtful, that I incorporate into my branding, because I really want to have, I want my clients to think that I'm very thoughtful in creating tailored content to exactly what they need for their marketing. So that's kind of fun to think about all the adjectives out there and really encompass 2 or 3 that you can find that are relevant to your business and your branding. So here's just some ideas. Are you authentic? Be honest and direct. Stick to your word. Don't use marketing jargon. Don't overpromise, oversell the product's capabilities. So think about what your voice characteristic is. Another one, your brand voice, persona, tone, purpose, and language. Do you want to be friendly? Do you want to be direct? Do you want to be educate? So really think about what those words are and maybe put it on a Post-it note and stick it on your computer so that every time you post online, you're really being careful to use words that are relevant to your branding. I couldn't stress enough to my team, we're not capitalizing, we're not OMGing or LOLing, we're not using, and some of my clients are so guilty of this. And I said, okay, I understand why you posted this on Facebook, but why 4 exclamation points? I mean, does your brand really need to have 4? I mean, I get 1, I get it. 2, I mean, something miraculous must have happened to your business. 3, now you're just yelling and becoming annoying. So sorry if you use more than that, but just 1 punctuation, please. So to recap, before we can talk on social media and share our content, we need to know, what is your brand voice? Who are you talking to? What problem are you solving? Can you answer these questions right now? I mean, I know you're all muted and we're not sitting in a circle, but I would call on you and make you answer some of these questions. What is your brand voice? Who are you talking to? What is your brand voice? Very thoughtful. Who are you talking to? I'm talking to Jennifer, and hopefully all the Jennifers out there. What problem are you solving? I am solving the problem of them being able to start their own business by giving them the marketing tools and basics that they need. That's the problem I'm solving. So write this down on your piece of paper. I know you've all got your paper and I've got a pen and pencil handy. Write these down. Brand voice. Who are you talking to? And what problem are you solving? Then this content is going to be so easy because we're going to have so many ideas. And here's that list of ideas. This is always so fun to talk about. 3 topics. I was nice to you today on a Monday. If this would have been a Friday morning, I would have given you 5 topics and made you come up with 5. But 3 topics, meaning what are 3 services, main services that your business provides? What are 3 main product types? Or the idea is one of them is the services that I provide is number 1. Number 2 is maybe success stories from the clients that I work with. And then maybe 3 is just to talk about the surroundings that we're in. Like as soon as we got on today, we had to talk about the weather. It's quite the Minnesota thing, don't you know? We could have one would talk about hot dishes and one we talk about the weather, and that's all. And then our business could be another topic idea. But it makes it really easy if you put the topics. I have them listed here as 1, 2, 3. But if you have them going horizontally, then you can brainstorm underneath one. It's a really fun activity. I remember working with 2 different hotels in Duluth. The difference is one of them was family friendly, and one of them was more for the business traveler. And so then we talked about, okay, we're going to talk about the things to do in Duluth for both of them, because you want to get people to stay at your hotel. So you're going to talk about all the activities and events going on. The second thing was what's relevant to the business traveler. Fax machines. Anybody use fax machines anymore? Conference rooms where we can Zoom in, high-speed internet. And for the family hotel, we're going to talk about they get warm chocolate chip cookies when they check in. There's a s'more station outside. There's a pool. Okay, the pool is one thing. What are all the things you can do in the pool? They have 5 different kinds of toys. They have their volleyball net. They have a hot tub. They have a sauna. All of the fun things that make it family friendly. A lot of hotels are allowing dogs now, so mention that. And so if you rotate between these categories, so if you're a restaurant, you can talk about the specials you can have. You can talk about where you source your food from, or you can talk about the drinks that you have. And then you can talk about, again, events going around in your community. So think about what 3 topics represent your business. If it's plumbers, you can talk about the services that the plumber provides. You can talk about the problems that they see. So is it something wrong with your sink? Is it frozen pipes? How do you prevent that? Helpful tips. So maybe I don't need plumbing services now, but it's such helpful tips that I'm getting. I'm going to follow that page. And then when I need help, obviously that's the plumber that I'm going to call, because they're giving useful information. So again, come up with 3 topics. You just thought that you were going to listen to this program tonight and you did not think you were getting homework, but you are clearly getting homework, and tomorrow morning we'll be checking it in and grading it with a red pen. So I want you to seriously be writing down your topics and brainstorm ideas under each one. You're here to learn about social media and content, and I'm trying to make it as easy as I can for you. Small business marketing. Sell more by solving problems. And I know that this is like kind of an older, I mean, not this graphic, but it's coming back now. But this was an older marketing tactic, and now it's coming back, and it gets through the clutter of what you find online. I mean, if people are scrolling pretty quickly and it seems to get faster, you've got a second. So if you've immediately talking about a problem that resonates with someone, they're going to stop and look at your content. So again, think about the problems that you're solving, not just, hey, I sell this. You sell it, why? What would people use it for? I sell this blouse, and you could wear it on a virtual meeting. You could wear it out and about. You could pair it with jeans and wear it on the weekends, or whatever that might be. So think about sell more by solving problems. And then I tell my clients, here's my local Earth Rider. I guess it's across the bridge in Wisconsin, but I always say, look at what other people are doing. I mean, if it catches your eye, then find a way to replicate that with your business. Obviously, not everybody sells beer in yellow cans. It would be fabulous, but not everybody does. So, but this stopped and caught my eye. So I'm like, okay, what do I have that's colorful? What can I talk about? And they are pairing with the American Birkebeiner. So again, they're going to elevate their content because they're talking about another business too. another organization. So that is huge. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Let's just look out there and see what resonates with us or what might register with the Jennifers out there, and then just redo that content. Or maybe we sell nothing like this, but it's just a little 6-second video of it spinning. So maybe we'll just go out and make with your phone. We've all are permanently attached at the hip with our phones. So pull out your phone and maybe just do a little 6-second video. If you don't want to be on it, then just show your products or services. But there's an example. And this is another example too of an ad that was placed where they have these, it's called a carousel ad. So Facebook allows you to easily create ads. And so if you see that a larger company is creating these little carousel ads, which shows all of these products, and you can scroll through and have 20 different product ideas, and each one goes to that individual page to buy it, that's something to think about. And here's something else as well. Here is the Gear Exchange in Duluth. They have gone out and created and we'll talk a little bit about how they probably created this little graphic here easily. But they're going to really talk about a sale that they have coming up, and they're going to make it eye-catching so people can read exactly what they have. Then this new market just opened up in Lincoln Park in Duluth, and I know that it's a marketplace. And so I just assumed like, whatever, if I ever need any, fancy jam for my charcuterie board, I'll go there. That's all I thought. But then they posted this yesterday and I was like, oh, look at this. Everything to prepare your entertaining summer in style, because we know yesterday it was tropical with the sun shining. So this was a perfectly timed post. Check out a hand-blown pitcher, matching glasses, and the one-of-a-kind whale cocktail shaker. So this means I'm going to be going there pretty quickly now. I didn't think that I'd be visiting that place anytime soon, but now that I know that they have other products and they're showing the products together and they're showing a recipe, pretty good idea. So again, just really think about how to kind of think outside the box, creating that content, getting people in that might not know the products that you have. So just take a look at Facebook and see what people are doing. And if you like it, just try to emulate it. And we can also look at what the big corporations are doing, because guess what Target has? $1 million marketing budget. None of us have $1 million marketing budgets. So let's just look at the people that have $1 million marketing budgets, because they've already done the A and B testing for us. And that's like, okay, they do a little 15-second video and they're talking about a new spring collection. Oh, that sounds fabulous. And look at Maurice's, headquartered right here in downtown Duluth. And now this is becoming more popular. So now I'm looking at this saying like, oh, look at, now I can click on all of these and it tells me what it is, how much it is, and how to buy it. Facebook is making it very easy for you to sell products online. So if I see something like this, I'm going to research how to sell products on Facebook. And I don't know if that's been covered in the other two presentations, but it's pretty helpful. They're trying to make it easier now. And a lot of websites have a plugin where Facebook can go in and scrape all your products and bring them in and create this. So there is a YouTube video out there for everything. So you can research how to do this. But again, they've done the testing for us. So just go out and see. So if I sell radios, I'm totally dating myself here. If I sell boom boxes, no, record players. If I sell some sort of little teeny tiny phone, or now phones are getting bigger, I would just look and see what Best Buy does for their marketing. If I have Molly's Pizza and I sell pizzas, I'm going to look online and see what Domino's and Pizza Hut and some of the bigger chains do. Again, $1 million marketing budgets. So I'm just going to borrow some of their ideas. Those are product-based, but we won't forget about the service-based industries like me and the plumbers. So this is two examples about how service-based companies use Facebook and Instagram. This is H&R Block. Use your return to never return. That sounds good to me. Or Wells Fargo. Did you know that mortgage company or customers can now access their tax documents online? Oh, that is super helpful. Or, oh, I'm scrolling through and I see this and I realize I've got to go to the accountant. I don't have these documents. Maybe next time, now I'm going to get another mortgage, I'm refinancing, I'm going to go to Wells Fargo where I can easily access everything online. So really talk about that program. And then obviously this is part of that content. Like, what could they do? If we do taxes, talk about what that is. What is another category they have? What could you do with all that money that you get back from taxes? And so that's a whole column that they have. And that is one of the pictures and one of the posts that they have from that. This is another example of the popularity now of Instagram, especially as your demographic and clients might start to get younger and more people are using Instagram. More people are using Instagram and the Instagram stories across the top. There was research done during the pandemic and more people started using social media for longer periods of time. What were the trends? Video. We know that because now Instagram has gotten away from their HGTV and now they have their reels to try to compete with TikTok. So videos are very important, and also stories on Instagram. So if you go to Instagram, there's those little circles on the top of your screen. I'll show some more here, but more people are scrolling through those stories. And the other thing about those is that they might not see your content that you post on Instagram, but they will see your new content on stories. Instagram algorithms use those stories to put you in touch with like-minded businesses that you already like. So I'll show you how to do that. But the deck, Dan Hartman in Duluth ran the Glensheen Mansion, was really successful. They pulled him over and now he works for the deck. The very first thing, because of his success at Glensheen Mansion, the very first thing that he did is hire 4 people for marketing, and 2 of them are just actively social media. They go to every single event. One videos it and one does Instagram stories that then appear on Facebook stories. You can share them both there. And they go to every single event and they just talk about it. They're trying to get more and more awareness and more people in the door. And they've jumped up to 3,000 followers. And then they can create, once you create a story, it only lives for 24 hours, but don't worry. Immediately after you post that story on Instagram, you can save it and you can save it as a highlight. And I'll show you that. So they've saved their highlights as concerts, the history of the deck, everything that's going on the sheet of ice there, backstage, and then weddings. So this is lit up all pink, which means that they have a highlight because they are on site every day talking about stuff at the deck. So this is what I mean across the top of your Instagram feed. These are all stories. And so if you want to create a story, all you do is click that blue button within the story and then create one. And as soon as you create this story, you click on it and there's 3 dots. You click on the 3 dots and you save as a highlight, and then it saves it here as a highlight. I mean, again, we could have a 3-hour presentation just on Instagram. So I apologize if you don't have Instagram and this is a little over your head, but I'm just giving you the basics of things. If you want to start to get on Instagram, some things that you should learn. And if you are on Instagram, make sure you're doing a lot of stories and make sure you're saving them as highlights. Again, this is my feed. And so I just go along the top and follow everybody, and you can see how many businesses are in my feed. These are all businesses. My whole Instagram feed was Faribault Woolen Mills, Legacy Toys, Trample by Turtles, a yoga place in town. Again, all these are businesses. So I'm just going to go through and see all of their content, but I'm not necessarily going to scroll through my feed and find it if their content is there. Here's another person in Duluth that has up to 80,000 followers, and she just has a full-time business now, just selling her products through, she has a website too, but she makes reels and highlights every day. So again, if you're looking for ideas, just follow people on Instagram that are doing it successfully see what they're doing, and then take some inspiration from that. And make sure that you have brand consistency. Make sure that all of your photos have consistency. Although we all don't have such brightly colored, pretty craft rooms like that to talk about though. So that makes it easy. Here's another example of Lake Superior Art Class, how they have all of their topics here, their classes that they have, some highlights, some designers that they have come in. Again, the importance of Instagram and Instagram highlights. And people always tell me that they have trouble coming up with ideas for posting on social media. So it doesn't always have to be like, here's a picture of product A, here's a picture of product B. Here's me wearing product A, here's the service I provide, here's another service I provide. But try to mix up the content that you have. So create a fill in the blank. That's on the 19th right here. That is a super fun one because guess what people like to do on social media? They like to engage. They like to give their opinion. They love that. So do a little fill in the blank. Then it starts to get people to start answering it. So it's supposed to snow today. What do you think about that? And then fill in the blank just to see how much you get. Because if I post something about a service I provide, people may see it, but they're not going to interact with it. They're going to interact with this. The more people that interact, the more Facebook algorithms will be like, oh, 15 people commented on this. Well, I'm going to show it to everybody. And so I know sometimes we talk about what time, what's the best time to post. And that piece is a little harder. I mean, on Instagram, it might be relevant, but on Facebook, I see content sometimes 3 days after it's been posted. Maybe I'll see it once and then I'll see it 3 days later because 30 people liked it. And so Facebook is going to be like, oh, maybe you should look at this post. And I'm like, I already saw that 3 days ago, but they're starting to show content that people are engaging with. So on Instagram, that might matter what time of day. And then you just have to think about the Jennifers that are in your customer base and think about what time, are they busy working? Are they busy parents? Then maybe you're going to post in the morning and at night or at lunchtime. But again, on Facebook, it's not as relevant. I don't so much as care when you post. I just want you to post because I know small business owners don't have much time in the day. So just post something so it's out there. And on Instagram, just think about your best customers and when you should post, because sometimes the algorithms get all mixed up and it only matters and they'll show your content when it starts to get more engagement. So some other ideas on the second day is share a testimonial or share a review. If someone has left you a review on your website or on Google Business or on Facebook, share that. Maybe don't share the last name, but just like Jennifer A. This was the best thing ever. When I would do that at Duluth Pack, I was shocked at how much engagement we would get. Like, oh my gosh, I have that bag too. I love that bag. That bag's the greatest. I've had my bag for 10 years and it's worked out great. I mean, it gets so much engagement. So it doesn't just have to be talking about products or services. You can share a quote, you can share a review, you can ask a question, you can share a tip, you can share something funny. In industry news, maybe it's a shout out to the business that's next door because they shoveled your walk this winter and you want to give them a shout out, then you're kind of engaging with them. And a valuable tip is something super helpful that will keep people coming back. Maybe you have an employee spotlight or a client spotlight. Maybe there's a really interesting article. That's what I do on my Facebook page is I go out and I read all of the social media blogs. And if there's something really relevant, I'll share that blog post on my Facebook page so that people that follow me can get some valuable content. They're like, oh, are you thinking about going on TikTok? Here's 3 things that a small business needs to know to start marketing on TikTok. I'll share those blogs. So again, your favorite tool, a blog post, behind the scenes. I love those behind the scenes. I love it when people are in the back opening up boxes. If there's new products, I don't care what the product is. I just want to watch them open the box and see what's in it. I'm like so excited. I live a really boring life. I've got to watch what you have in the box and watch what you take out. Or if it's a service that you provide, loading up your tools to go out for the day, anything behind the scenes. That's the stuff that people want to know. It can be messy. People want that. People want real life. We just want to see it. All of these ideas, so many ideas. Your brains are like hugely full of content ideas right now. I can just see it behind your black screens and your white names. And this is just showing it in a pretty color, but it's just a little bit harder. Holidays, talk about holidays, talk about weather, talk about a fun fact, take a poll, a day in the life. All of these are super interesting things that you can go out and find. So just Google something on your industry, news in your industry, and see what's out there. And if it's relevant and valuable, just copy the link and share it. All kinds of ideas. All right, Katie, here comes your free tools. We are going to talk about some of those tools that can help you create amazing social media content. And this is my go-to, is unsplash.com. And these are freely usable images. So I build a lot of websites on Wix. And I always go to Unsplash and find beautiful photography that I use on the websites until they build their business up enough where they can hire a photographer to come and photograph their products or their services. So in the meantime, Unsplash is a tool that you can, and it's amazing the stuff that you can find on here. For every, I mean, I've done like metal working shops and concrete and movers, and I found amazing content on here. So Unsplash. And I just did restaurant food, and I was like, I hope everybody had dinner before they're going to be staring at all these pictures because it looks amazing. Yeah, so there you go. Everybody has chicken wings. So even though you know, even though this might be not your restaurant, it still, you can probably find something on here that is, you know, like a burger that you can find that's photographed there. Another one of Katie's favorite tools is Canva. And Canva is, there is a pro form, which I used pro for a little bit. Now I've gone back, but I might sign up for pro again. But there's a ton of stuff that you can do on here for free. So all you do is go to Canva, canva.com, and it says, what do you want to do? Do you want to do a video? Do you want to do an Instagram post? Do you want to do a Facebook post? I've done PowerPoint or presentations in here. I had a client that I was going to build a website for, and they built it in here first with a PowerPoint. Well, now this is a website developing thing. We haven't launched the website yet, but you can create websites on here now too and launch them directly through Canva. So that's something new. So let's say we want to create an Instagram post. So I click on that and it takes me here and it says, what do you want to make an Instagram post about? And I said, Easter. So then it gives me all of these. If it has a little crown, that means you have to pay like $1.99 for it. But I scrolled through here to see what I could find for free. And I clicked on one. Happy Easter, this one here, free. So then I clicked on this text and I said, from MAS Marketing. And I'm like, okay, well, that took maybe 45 seconds to click on canva.com, click on Instagram post, type in Easter, click on this post, click on this text, edit text. And it's like just like a Word document. You can change the font, you can change the color. It's pretty easy to use. So then I just put from MAS Marketing, Molly Solberg, that's my name. Hit the download button, saved it on my computer, upload it to Facebook, done. Do you have any other tips that you use, Katie, on your Canva?
You covered it so well, but I just want to stress how easy to use it is and how professional looking the images you end up with are. I use Canva all the time, and I know we're talking about, you know, e-commerce and what you can do on social media, but I've used it for print, like I've used it for posters, for community events. I've used it for reports, presentations. if you want to look like you know what you're doing and if you have an eye for design, but if you're like me and design challenged, this is a great way to cheat.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yep. Because now if I create this and post it, I'm like, wow, Molly has some mad graphic design skills. Canva. Yeah. And I've gone in here and done Valentine's Day and done like a little post for something. I have a restaurant client that I help out, and they posted just like a little text message like, you should come tomorrow because we're gonna have some corned beef and cabbage at 4 o'clock. And I was like, oh, that's so sad. So I copied that text, found a really bright and colorful St. Patrick's Day with leprechaun throwing confetti clovers in the air, and then I just put the little and then I reposted it on there. So super easy to do. And then that got way more views than just the little text message did. So just drop it into any sort of template. And it doesn't have to be a holiday. It could just be anything. You could have a sale, whatever you want, a blue background, a pink background, whatever, a tree, a lake. You want to talk about summer and promotions that you've got going on to people traveling to your area, anything. That was the free tools. Now we are going to talk about, Molly, I always hear, Molly, I don't have time to post on Facebook. And I'm like, can you give me one day a month? And they're like, for an hour, like a Sunday night while you're sitting on a couch with your iPad. So we can create all that content and then you can schedule it, and it's super duper easy. This is my Facebook business page. So what you can do here is you can go onto Facebook and go onto your business page, and then you can, on this left hand side, there is Ad Center. If you want to create an ad like that one we saw for Society 6, that carousel ad that had all of those pictures on it, you can create it there. Or you can click down here and go to publishing tools. So go to your Facebook business page, click on the publishing tools. When you click on publishing tools, it'll bring you here to this screen, and you want to create a post. So click on that. You can click the box and tie it to your Instagram. So again, you don't have to be super knowledgeable on Instagram. Instagram does require, I just have hello world written here, which you can't put on Instagram. Instagram needs photos. That's why you need Canva. So you can create something on there and then save it to your computer and upload it. So I'm going to create a post. I'm going to say, check my Facebook page. I can check Instagram too. I'm going to type something and add a photo. And then I'm going to move all of our faces here, which are covering this up. But then there is once you create the post, you can hit the publish button or this little white triangle here. You can hit that little white triangle and it will say, do you want to save the post as a draft? Which is if you maybe have somebody working for you doing your social media, but you want to review everything before they post it, then you can have them all scheduled or have them all saved. And then you can just go in and look at them all and approve them all and then schedule them. So click on this, instead of hitting the publish button, you're going to click on this little schedule post, and then that brings you to this screen. And it says, select a date and time for your future post. So you can go out, I think it lets you go out now 90 days. So you can schedule a time and you can schedule a post, and then you're going to hit save. And then after you do that, you're going to go back to publishing tools, create a post, upload another photo or a poll or a graphic or something else fabulous you made on Canva, or a little video right here, add video. You're going to hit the blue white triangle. You're going to schedule the post for a few days later or a week later and push save and repeat. And now you're done with your social media posting for the month. And then you just use those fill-in times to talk about a shout out to your neighbor business, or talk about the weather, talk about something that the box that just came into the store that you're going to unbox. But you don't have to worry and have so much pressure because you're working, in your business. You don't have time to work on your business often. So use this tool once a month to schedule a bunch of stuff out. So if you don't get time to post, you know that you've got these. Because during the pandemic, people are going online to seeing what time your business is open and when. And if there's nothing there, they're just not sure if your business survived. So we really need to make sure that you're taking care of social media, because it is an important part, because again, it's there to convert, drive traffic to your website so they call you or email you or walk into your retail store, but it has to have a purpose. So there you go, scheduling posts. There's also, if you have a post that's successful, here's me sharing a little TikTok thing. You can do boost post now. I used to not recommend this in the past because you just hit that button and it would just send it out into some sort of space and then grab your $10 and that was the end of it. Thank you very much. That's why I always had you create an ad. But now they're getting a lot better at, if you boost a post, you can target to everybody that likes your page. So if you have a yearly sale going on, maybe you need to spend $5 or $10 to boost that post to everybody that's on your Facebook page, because when you just post it regularly, I hate to say that less than 5% of everybody that follows your page will see that content, less than 5%. So it's kind of a, thank you, Mark Zuckerberg. It's kind of a pay to play kind of thing where you, if you have a post that you really want everybody to see, you might have to boost it to everybody that likes your page and everybody that likes your page and their friends. So that way you can try to reach more of those Jennifers. So when you boost a post, it says you can pick, so you're not wasting money. So really find that sweet spot. I just want to get to Jennifer. So I'm just going to do women, and I'm going to do women from 25 to 55. I just want to reach that sweet spot. And I'm not going to do the United States. I'm just going to do everybody that lives in Staples and then the 25-mile radius, or Wadena and a 25-mile radius. So I know it's getting into the right people. Always pick an end date. It used to just be like to infinity and your card would just continue to be charged. And I only did that once and that was not a pleasant experience. So always pick an end date. Try to go as low as you can just to test it and see how it does. If it does really, really well and you're like, hey, I saw your ad on Facebook, well, I'm going to go back and bump that up to $20 then and redo it. You can show it on Instagram, Messenger, Facebook. You can show it just on Instagram if you have a younger demographic that you want to reach there. So yeah, so it's really, really easy to do. And then you just boost now. And for the next 5 days, they're going to show my boosted posts and I'm going to reach about 150 people. Maybe if I did $10, I was going to reach maybe 300, maybe all of my followers on Facebook. So they make it really easy now to boost your post. So to recap the content piece of it, I've included here, I try not to do so much text in my slides because I lose people. So here is the blog.hootsuite.com. Hootsuite is a really great resource, social media tips for small business owners. You can see this profile of Facebook advertising audience. So it seems like we talk a lot about Instagram being for a younger demographic, but here it's saying 25 to 35-year-old, 18% male in that category, as opposed to as it gets older. So the advertising audience, Facebook's global advertising audience. So this is globally. So this could be skewed a little bit by other countries that are using that, but just something for you to look at. So you just have to do these 12 things and then you're good to go, right? All these 12. Start with a plan. So even though I'm a solo entrepreneur, it's really helpful for me to have a plan in place. What is my goal for 2022? Maybe I want to help one more business a month. Well, how do I do that? Well, how I can do that is I'm going to post twice a week and talk about the services that I provide to startups. And then I'm going to boost one of those posts to get in front. So that's my plan. I know my plan is to help two more businesses a month. So how am I going to do that? Decide which platforms. Number 2, decide which platforms are right for you. Ask your customers where they are and where they like to find out about the products and services that you provide. Number 3, know your audience. We know our audience now because we did that buyer persona exercise and we learned who our favorite customers are. That's our audience, and we're going to talk to that audience. And then number 4, expand your audience. So once you get that, how are we going to expand our audience? Well, that's what I mentioned about reaching out to those topics that those Jennifers are interested in, associations that they belong to, activities, hobbies. I'm going to talk about those and expand to get more of those Jennifers in there. And then number 5, build relationships. Build relationships with your customers that are there. Ask questions. When you ask a question and they respond, answer that. That's great, or that's funny, or oh, I didn't think about that, or wow, that sounds like a fun weekend. What did you do this weekend? Whenever they engage, answer them. You're gonna build those relationships. And that also means building relationships with your neighbors and like-minded businesses. In Duluth here, we have that Lincoln Park neighborhood, and which was pretty desolate and all boarded up storefronts. But what happened was Duluth Grill was there, and Bent Paddle Brewery moved in, and then Frost River, who also makes canvas products, moved in, and there's the 3 of them there. Could one of those businesses afford a billboard? No. Could the 3 of them together? Yes. So they realized, well, if they come down to eat at Duluth Grill and then they shop at Frost River and then they get a beer at Bent Paddle, that is a full evening. They don't have to just come down here for one thing. All 3 work synergistically, if that's a word, together. So the 3 of them went in and bought a billboard. And so that billboard went up, and people coming up from the Twin Cities were like, oh, what's this? And they all pulled in and they ate at Duluth Grill. So popular that they opened up a second restaurant, OMC. Then they opened up a third restaurant, Corktown. Now they just opened up that Goat Hill Market that just showed the picture of the pitcher and the blue. That is a business owned parent company of Duluth Grill. Bent Paddle moved in, which made Ursa Minor the brewery, and Bent Paddle came down, knocked on the door, and welcomed them, because the more people that were going to come down for them, we're going to come down and see them as well. Then Duluth Cider moved in, and then Wild State Cider moved in, and then the boutiques wanted to move down there, and then they started building apartments, and then they built a second apartment, and then the flower shop moved in. So now it's huge and bustling in that area because they synergistically work together. So find out who your neighbors are, and why don't you talk about their content? Why don't you give a shout out? When they opened up, that Goat Hill Marketplace opened up, and all the other local businesses in there, they all shared each other's content. They all tagged each other. They all welcomed each other. They all talked about their grand openings together. And so now I didn't know that marketplace was moving in until the one business that I did know tagged them in it. Then I saw that, and the same thing for them. And then the coffee shop opened up behind them. So that's there now. So just if it's relevant, there's nothing better that you can do to elevate your content than just to talk about other businesses. And it's small businesses, and you live in smaller communities. So the more you can do to promote each other, the better off you're going to be, and the more you're going to elevate your content. Katie's shaking her head and giving thumbs up to that. Yep. Pay attention to trends. We talked about that. How are you going to pay attention to trends? Just look and see what other businesses are doing. We already talked about that. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. Number 7, sell your stuff with social commerce. I think we talked about in the past year, 18% of Facebook users. How many users are on Facebook? Billion? 18% of those people purchase something directly through Facebook, whether they saw the ad and clicked and went to the website and bought it. But what would have that been a few years ago? Everybody bought stuff in person or online. Nobody bought stuff through those platforms. And now 18% last year bought through Facebook. So sell your stuff with social commerce. Hence why why Katie put on the Clicks and Bricks series is for that same reason, to get people in to your storefronts and to get people to buy your online. And now this is another way that you can do that, is through Facebook. Mix up your number 9, mix up your formats. We talked about that. That's my dance. That's my mix up my format dance. Can we edit this out of the YouTube part of it? Okay, sorry. Mix up your contents. First, you're going to ask a question. Then you're going to talk about one of your topic ideas, another topic idea. Then you're going to show a video on it. Then you're going to show a photo on it. Then you're going to share an article. So always be mixing up that content. And I gave you those, you saw those calendars online where all the different ideas for that. Focus on quality over quantity. Like, do I have to post every day? I'm like, not if you don't have anything to say. So really talk about the quality over quantity. So that means picking things out of your categories, taking the time to make something in Canva. And the phones these days, I mean, I think you can see like all of the phones that are on the back of my all of the phones, all of the cameras that are on the back of my phone. So this takes amazing photos right now, and there's editing software on here. You can take a video with this, and there's video editing software on here. The video, what is the video thing with the video with the iPhone video thing? Anyway, that you can edit on there. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what I have a Google Pixel. I don't know.
What? Mute yourself. No, I'm just kidding. We love Google. No, we love Google. They're amazing. They're amazing. Yeah. But any video editing that you have right on your phones, use the right tools. And I think we just talked about a lot of those tools. Use scheduling and automation to free up more time and engagement. I just told you how to schedule that piece of it. If you are a larger company that can afford something like Hootsuite, when I was at Duluth Pack, I did have Hootsuite so that we could all access one dashboard, and the dashboard would have all of our social media channels and all of the comments that we were getting. So if there is a few of you doing this for your business, maybe think about Hootsuite to make it easier. And then the last one is extremely important that my clients rarely do, which is track and refine their performance. There is a way on Facebook. When you go into that, I think you could see on the side when I showed the publishing tools, but there's an insights where you can look and see what posts did well. Do more of those. How many people engaged? How many people clicked and went to your website? You can monitor all of that. There is an amazing free tool that might have been talked about, but is Google Analytics. And Google Analytics is a free piece of code that you can embed on your website. You can do it easily by YouTubing how to do it or asking your website person to help you with it. But that has all of your information on there of all of your customers and how they got to your website. And it will tell you how many people came from Facebook. So you can see what's working well and just do more of what works well. Track and refine. So that is the social media piece of it. And here's another like, for all those that love Hootsuite and statistics, what are the top reasons for using social media? I should have like covered, if we were in person, I'd cover this up and I'd have you come up like a Family Feud and push the button for the top answer. Top answer is to stay up to date with news and current events. News on Facebook, a little bit questionable, but news and current events. The other reason, funny and entertaining content. So that's something that you could post something that's funny. Fill up spare time. Well, yeah, I'm a little guilty of that. Stay in touch with what friends are doing. Share photos and videos. Research products to buy. Oh, that is interesting. How many is that? 27.5% of people use Facebook and social media to research products that they're going to buy. General networking with people, because a lot of my friends are on them. Oh, share their opinion. I can't believe that one isn't higher. Oh, share their opinion on social media. Maybe share less of your opinion on social media. Meet new people, network for work. Make sure you don't miss out on anything. FOMO, fear of missing out. To watch and follow sports events. I'm going to be watching UMD hockey on Thursday. And follow celebrities, share details of what I'm Share details of what I'm doing in my daily life. Oh, 16% of you keep on sharing it. We're so interested in your daily life. Okay, we're all a little guilty of that. And promote and support charitable causes. So this is really interesting reasons of why people are using social media. So this has nothing to do with social media marketing, but it is the number one thing that I'm telling my clients right now is to not forget about it, because you should use your website and social media for an opportunity to get an email address. If you get an email address, it is a little piece of gold. You probably found out about these presentations through an email. That's how you find out about things. So just don't forget about it. It's because my whole inbox is full of emails from companies that have $1 million budgets. So they're not wasting their time. They're not wasting their money. They're not wasting their energy. I don't know what you're up to. I miss your content on social media. I like your business. I follow your business. I don't see your content. Send me an email and let me know about the new services you have, the new products you have. You have to push information out to get information back in, to get them back to your website. So it is technically not part of that, but I want you to think about one thing you're going to do on social media is you're going to ask people like, hey, have you signed up for our, click here to go to my website to sign up for our email. That's a way that you get to find out first about products and services and sales that we have. Make it special, because those email people you have are huge. And I know that because the clients that I have that send emails have huge spikes in traffic every time they send out an email, huge spikes in traffic to their website. So don't forget about email marketing. And if you think email marketing is dead, 3.9 billion people have email now. By 2024, that is going to be 4.5 billion. So it's only going to increase by that much email users. And 450 million is the amount US dollars that that marketers will spend on email advertising, that spent the email advertising in last year. So that's the power. So don't forget about email marketing. And MailChimp and Constant Contact make it really easy for you to just set up a template and upload your email addresses, and then just go back into that template and save it, and then just take out the old content, add the new content, and resend it out again. Again, that could be a whole other presentation. But it invokes curiosity, it's benefit driven, have some urgency, and be results orientated. And I know people are just like, but I hate emails. I'm like, yeah, but you don't subscribe. You might not look at it every time, or you rarely unsubscribe, and you're not going to be sending them every day. That isn't going to be who you are. But whatever is relevant to you once a month. And we had talked about collaboration. By collaborating with others, you can expand your customer base because you're meeting and sharing content with new people. And that is what is so amazing about working with clients that are in smaller towns, is because you can really band together and support each other and talk about all the events that you have going on. Maybe it's a fundraiser that's at the VFW. Talk about it. The more you can help your community, the better off. And that's really what it's all about, is helping our communities, helping each other. That's what small businesses do. And that's how we survive. Coupons. You know, I'm not a big fan of these totally, but there's a good way for them to attract new customers. And it's a proven method that's expanding your customer base and to get people back. It doesn't have to be cutting out the coupon like my grandma had and her overflowing little coupon thing. I'm like, Grandma, all these are expired years ago. Oh, I just like to put them in there. Like, maybe that's not the kind of coupon that I'm talking about, but maybe offer a special deal. Maybe offer, if you bring a friend. I know social media is popular for tag a friend that maybe you have a giveaway, and tag a friend and like this page. That's going to help increase it. So you're giving something away, but it's worth it because it's marketing dollars to get a bunch of new customers that are just like your current customers. So I said the word coupons, but just think about giveaways, think about a way to attract new customers and new clients. Another little piece. I'm going to drink some water. I really talk a lot and talk fast, but but you're getting a lot packed into a short amount of time. So, okay. The reason I like this content calendar is to take a calendar, and it doesn't matter what year it is, it just goes by quarters. But I want you to think about the holidays, and I want you to think about major events, because what's important is the holidays being New Year's Eve, and then Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, Memorial Day, summer vacations, graduations, maybe it's tax season, then you're talking about fall, you're talking about Halloween, you're talking about the holidays. Major events could be, if that's relevant, if it's tax season, if it's, services you provide and you clean, gutters, you need to talk about that in the spring and removing all the leaves. Whatever major events, if it's a 4th of July picnic, well, I suppose that could fall under holidays, but whatever major events are in your town, if you've got a big festival going on, I always tell my businesses up in Ely, Minnesota, their Blueberry Festival is huge. And I always tell everybody to talk about everything that's going on, talk about things that they can do at your business that are relevant about that time. And then talk about the content you're going to talk about, and then see what worked well. And I did this I had to do this when I was at Duluth Pack, because May, I remembered Mother's Day. That's a huge holiday around my house. I think I'm a pretty fantastic mother. My son is rolling his eyes right now. And then June is Father's Day. But what happened was this Father's Day ended up moving, and it ended up being really early in June, earlier than it had been. And then we hand make leather products when I was at Duluth Pack. So we had to hand make the product, place the order, hand make the product. And if we have to ship it to USPS to California, that took a really long time. And I missed it. I was too late for that. June came around and it was too late. So think about, if you have Father's Day marketing that you do, May is when you're going to start planning, is when you're going to go to Unsplash and find a good father photo. And then you're going to upload it into Canva, and you're going to make a little post, and you're going to have that done in May, and then you're going to schedule it. And so you're done. So, February is also the Super Bowl. So if your business has anything to do with that, or maybe you just talk about who do you think is going to win, and everybody chimes in, and maybe you do a giveaway or something. But just write all this down, and so that it's there, and so you never forget what's coming up, and it gives you a ton more content ideas, a ton more. Look at everything that you can fill in for all of these dates that could be content. And then again, just go back and say, like, oh, last year we did this Valentine's Day promotion, and I remember 50 people liked it, so I'm just going to do something similar again this year. So think about it as, speaking of the Super Bowl, I know it's basketball and hockey season right now that we're all really excited about, but I do also, little known fact about Molly Solberg is I'm the manager of our fantasy football league. I'm the commissioner. So I am legally allowed to have this slide on here because I am a professional fantasy football manager of 14-team league. Anyway, enough about that. So I really want you to think about this, the football field, as you're going to be spending half of your marketing time getting your visitors, all of the new Jennifers out there, from a visitor to the 50-yard line to a customer. And then on the 50-yard line is all of our Jennifers out there. So we have to spend 50% of our time getting Jennifer back in the door to buy more products, to make sure that she is satisfied, that we retain her business, and that we upsell her until at the end of scoring a touchdown, which becomes my brand evangelist. So we spend so much time on getting just to the 50-yard line, and then we think we're done. And that's where email marketing comes into play. Email marketing will get you to that touchdown, get you from the 50-yard line to the touchdown. So think about and I apologize for those people that don't like football, but come on, we're in Vikings territory. So visitors to the 50-yard line, and then spend the rest of your time getting the Jennifers up into scoring a touchdown. That's the end of my sports reference for the evening. And now it is time for questions. So I gave you a ton of ideas on content and your buyer personas and different categories to talk about and how you should talk about them with your brand voice, and how you're going to create the content with Unsplash photos or by using Canva. I'm going to tell you how to publish it. I'm going to tell you to look on to Facebook and Instagram and see what others are doing like you and get inspiration for ideas for you. And you are done. You are going to reach your goals. If you do all of these things, you will reach your goals that we talked about at the beginning, which for me is getting 2 new businesses a month. And I will make that happen by following all of my, I know I'm usually a do as I say and not as I do, but I am going to be doing these things to reach my goals. So I'm so glad that you came on, and stay tuned for this presentation today. And I am thankful for Katie for inviting me and having me here. And if there's any questions that you have, let me know. I am at, my Facebook is Molly Solberg Marketing. My website is Molly Solberg, which tells you how to get a hold of me. I'm happy to answer any questions. And my email is molly@mollysolberg.com. Yes, I am an only child. There's a lot of Molly Solbergs in there, but I'm happy to answer any questions. Or if not, just reach out if you have any further questions. And I am very excited and hopeful for your businesses in 2022. It is going to be a great year for all of you. And thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much, Molly. You packed a lot of great information. Even, social media has been around for a lot of my life, as you can tell by my youthful glow. But even like I've found nuggets in there, just a great way of thinking about things. Does anyone have any questions for Molly? Now's your time. Unmute yourself. Any questions? I guess I have a quick question.
Okay.
You work with a lot of small businesses, which is great because that's what we're champions of. What would you say was, maybe the biggest mistake that you see small businesses make when they get started on social media? What's the biggest blunder to avoid?
I think a lot of times they want to have everything right. Like, oh, I have a Facebook page, but I haven't launched it yet because my logo doesn't fit perfectly in the circle. And I was like, what? Like, no, we're going to launch your Facebook page. I think that that's a mistake. And then I think the mistake is not, I thought you were going, but just do it. Just try it. Just do it. People like that things are messy. We understand we're all humans. Those are the posts that get the most like are the people that are the most human and the most genuine. So that is my answer to that question. I thought you were going to ask what's the greatest mistake that small businesses make now, not starting, but now is assuming we know. There's a business, a flower shop on the corner that I go to all the time, and I still don't know when they're going to be open, when they're going to be closed, if they're, especially during COVID, were they just doing deliveries? Do we have to wear a mask? Did the hours change? Don't assume if we've been a customer for 1 day or 10 years that we know. Keep talking about, hey, did you know we're open on Mondays? Hey, did you know, we close at 6. We put in, we're not closing at 5, we're closing at 6 so that you can stop by after work. So don't just assume that we know. Keep posting your hours and the services and products you provide.
Thanks for that. Shannon, you raised your hand.
I did. I had a question. You had some stuff that you were showing on your slideshow, like some social media content calendars and different things. And I was trying to take screenshots as I was doing this, but where can I find some of this information? I missed that part.
So and then Katie, do you have a way to get this out to the participants, or you can email me?
I have all the emails. Emails are gold. Of the of the participants. So, well, if you wouldn't mind sending me your slide deck, I could forward it out to the registrants so you all have it.
Yep,
Would that work for you, Shannon? You're muted, Bob.
Sorry, there I am. Yes, that would be fantastic. I actually this was really enjoyable, weirdly, to me. I found that I was learning a lot and I didn't expect that. So thank you to you, Molly, for doing this. And I would love to get that information from you.
Yeah. Well,
And
weirdly, me and weirdly usually comes in the same sentence, but yeah.
Well, thank you.
Rebecca just made a great point in the chat that I want to make sure to mention. Molly's a consultant also with the North Central SBDC. So if anyone here would like some no cost one-on-one time with Molly, that's available. Is there, Rebecca, is there a link to like sign up? You read my mind.
Ta-da! She is magic.
Thanks. Thanks, Rebecca. So the link is there if any of you are interested in getting some of that valuable one-on-one time so you can talk specifically about your business. It's not all general examples. Any other questions?
Oh my. Sign up, Katie, so we can hang out.
Yeah, I might just do it to talk about our brackets.
Right? Yeah, our brackets are a little busted, but no, not Katie's. Katie's doing really well. So if you have March Madness advice, Katie can give it.
Yeah, much to my husband's chagrin. All right. So if there aren't any more questions, we're going to close out for tonight. I'll be sending out the slide deck and the recording for you all. But thank you so much for joining us this evening. And Molly, thank you so much for such an entertaining and thorough presentation on social media.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for having me. All right.
Everyone.
Bye, everyone.